fall away. It's a bad internet connection.
You good?
It's pretty messed up. But
All right.
yeah,
Well,
I'm good. But sometimes I hear you like glitching. I hear your voice glitching. Like, but let's give it a try. Like, I can change it. It's my internet connection from here.
it's all good. We'll
So
make it work. But
I'll give it a try.
so we're live right now. How's everyone doing? I'm joined here today with
Hi.
Justin Prime. How you doing today, Justin?
Hey man, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me tonight, man.
No problem, man. Thanks for coming on. So, I guess little else to do. Let's get started. So, tell us kind of where you're at right now, and introduce yourself to everyone, and start there.
Hey guys, I'm Justin Prime. I'm currently free tonight, so I decided to do a little chat with you guys on Google Hangout for Run the Night TV. I'm actually at home right now, so I'm just chilling on the couch, drinking a cup of coffee. It's actually like 1 a.m. at night over here in the Netherlands, so it's a little bit late, but I'm having some cups of coffee to stay awake and have a little chat with you guys. So let's get things started.
There you go. That's interesting. You wouldn't think 1 in the morning is really late for the whole DJ lifestyle, but still people. All right, so kind of let's start off. I guess let's start from the beginning. Let's tell everyone how you got into DJing and producing, and kind of where you started with all this.
Oh man, that's like let me see. Well, I I started off playing the piano when I was 5 years old. My grandfather, he was like a really good musician. He played like 20 instruments. Like you name one, you pick one, he plays it. And then at some point he asked me like, okay, I'm going to teach you music. What do you want to play? I said I want to play the piano. So then he teach me to play the piano. And then at the age of 14, I went to my friend's place, and he told me like, "Hey, come over, man. I have some new stuff. You have to check it out." And I came over to his place, and I said, "What's that?" And he said, "That's the new Pioneer CD player." And I said, "Well, what does it do?" And he said, "Yeah, it's DJing." And then I said, "What's DJing?" And he said, "Let me show you." And he showed me, and he told me like, "Try it out yourself, man." And I mixed like one song together with another song, and from that moment on, I was like instantly hooked, you know. And then I started DJing at little school parties when I was 15 years old. And then at the age of 16, 17, I actually started to produce music. And at that point, it came to notice to me that all those years of playing piano, it actually helped me with making my music, you know. So that's actually how I started, and then I got my first record deal when I was 18 years old, and then I was making I started to make hardstyle music. I'm not quite sure if you guys know what it is, but
Yeah.
it's like yeah, it's like music like Q dance music, you know. It's like 150 BPM. I started making that when I was 16 years old, 70 years old, and then I got a record deal at Showtek's label when I was 20, I think, and I stick at Showtek's label for 6 years making hardstyle music. And then I made Cannonball, and just for fun, and it became such a big hit. And that's where we are right now. It's like yeah.
There you go. That's actually funny because a friend of mine, he was DJing probably like 10 years now, and obviously I know like
Yeah.
back then, like 5, 6, 7 years ago, hardstyle was really big, especially in the New York scene. And he was showing me his old records. He had old Showtek hardstyle records. People I didn't even know made hardstyle. So that's
Yeah.
funny that you started at that time.
I was called Abyssine Judge by then, but at some point after like making hardstyle music for 6, 7, maybe 8 years, I can't quite remember, but it was really long. So at some point I was like, okay, I wanna like try something else because I'm actually a really musical guy, you know. Like I can play piano, guitar. I like classic music, and at some point I wanted to like blend the pianos and the classical influences together with hardstyle, but you can't really do that, you know. It's like those two things aren't made for each other. So
Right.
then at some point I felt like, okay, this is, you need to move on, man. You need to make something else, and that's the point when I switched over to like house music, you know. But I
Mhm.
had a great time for all those years in hardstyle. So
So
yeah.
what was it about hardstyle that first attracted you to that genre rather than, any other?
Oh man, it's it's the kick and the bass. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you hear that kick and the bass, and it's like a Dutch thing. Like I'm from the Netherlands, as you might know, and
Mhm.
in the Netherlands, the hardstyle scene is the biggest uh, music movement. You know,
Mhm.
in the Netherlands, hardstyle music is the biggest, and yeah, at some point well, actually, I started off playing house music, and then I switched over to techno music, and then I discovered hardstyle music, and from that moment on, I was like, yes, this is amazing. The kick and the bass, this is what I want to do, you know.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's
There
it
you go.
actually.
So you hinted on obviously you're Dutch for everyone out there who doesn't know, and like you said, there's a giant hardstyle scene there. What else about being Dutch kind of influenced you from the very beginning of your career? So I want to know how you feel that's affected you, especially in those early times.
Like, I'm sorry, what? One more time?
So how did being a Dutch DJ really affect you when you were young, like right when you were starting out? Because I feel like a lot of DJs, depending on where you are, that very beginning influence really affects how you kind of start out and how you turn out. So how do you think being Dutch affected you in that way?
Well, being Dutch is like um, all the house music from the last years comes from the Netherlands, you know. So we grew up with it. So in like the 90s, we got like the hardcore music, like yeah, I'm not quite sure if you know these guys, but like DJ Dano, Gizmo, The Prophet, which is now like a hardstyle DJ. Back then they were
Hmm.
called the Dream Team, and they were like a big influence for my youth, you know. And there was a little period, it was called the Happy Hardcore period, when
Hmm.
a lot of happy hardcore acts. They were like, how do you say this? It was really famous in the Netherlands, you know. So as a young kid, I was like 9 years old. I grew up with happy hardcore music and more underground hardcore music, and that really influenced me. So I think maybe that attracted me a little bit to the new movement called hardstyle music. It actually existed. No, I think it started to exist in 1999 in Italy, and then from Italy it came over to the Netherlands in like 2001. And from that
Hmm.
moment, we took the hardstyle as like our own style, and we developed it. You know, for all these years, we developed the hardstyle music. So I think that was like that from that moment on. Yeah, my hardcore history um, got me into the hardstyle music. Yeah,
Hmm. So
like
like
growing up.
when was that first time you started really breaking out of the Netherlands and kind of being a global DJ, like the kind of getting around and touring? What was that very beginning like?
Well, actually, I already started doing that when I was still a hardstyle DJ called Abyss and Judge. We flew over to like all over Europe, Australia, Asia, and so on. But now that I'm like just in prime and Cannonball blew up worldwide, I can't even compare this with my hardstyle career. This is like a whole new thing. Like I'm going to countries that I've never been before, and I didn't even knew there was a scene going on.
Hmm.
Um, I'm coming over to America now and doing my first tour, and I already got confirmation today. Actually, that's the funny thing that I'm going to do another tour in December this year, and a Canada tour, and a big Asia tour, and it's like actually since of like Cannonball made this all happen. It's
Hmm.
really
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah,
Well,
one
that's
song,
awesome.
and it gets yeah,
Well, definitely congrats on all these tours. That sounds pretty cool. Way to announce it here.
yeah,
You just got confirmation. That's awesome.
yeah. And I love America because I'm I'm I don't know, but like my father, he's Dutch too, but he chose to live in America because he just likes America a lot. And I like America a lot too. So I'm more like an American guy, instead of a Dutch guy. So I think I will fit in just perfectly.
Oh yeah, of course. Well, that's really the good thing about electronic music is pretty much no matter where you're from, you can kind of fit in. And then once you come to
Yeah.
America, it's kind of the supersized version of it. So
Yeah.
everyone gets
So I'm
along.
I'm really excited about this. I waited for so long to come to America, and then finally, Chesto he helped me to get my work permit together with Showtech, the both of them. So I have to give them a little bit of credits for this. Yeah, Showtech and Chesto they helped me out, and yeah, now I can finally come over to America for my first tour. So I'm so excited about this. So I can't wait. Like 1 week from now, and then I'm coming. I'm heading over to the United States. So yeah,
Awesome.
kicking off at Boston. Yeah, Boston. Yeah.
So let's talk about the different stops in your tour. Is there anywhere in particular you're really super excited to play?
Oh man, like I'm actually, to be quite honest, I don't even know what to expect, because uh, I never did a tour in America. It's so funny.
Hmm.
Like I've played all around the world except for America. So yeah, I know it's crazy, but so I'm really excited, and at the same time I don't know what to expect. But I've heard from colleagues that San Diego is really cool and New York is the bomb. But yeah, you should actually ask me this afterwards, because then I
Yeah.
would probably have a good answer for you.
Well, let's talk about this. So, you've been touring around Europe, you've got, Asia, like you said, everywhere under your belt besides America, so obviously we'll hold off on that. But one thing I'm really curious about, a lot of people talk about how the scene has really worldwide just evolved, over the past decade from this kind of underground movement, especially, you with the hardstyle to now much more of a mainstream thing.
Yeah.
How have you really seen, from your shows and what you do, this scene evolving? Like how much different is it, and what are those differences? Do you think?
Wow, you mean like it doesn't matter if I'm talking about my hardstyle career or house music? Because I'm only playing like house music for 2 years now. So I like if you're talking about my whole career, including the hardstyle scene, I have to say that house music in particular, like it 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 got more attention the last few years, and I'm not quite sure what the reason is. If it was like Chesto or Swedish House Mafia or David Guetta who got it more attention, but it's like at some point, like the house music got more bigger and bigger worldwide, and it doesn't even matter if it's like electro house or progressive house or hardstyle music, because I think hardstyle music is getting bigger and bigger too. If you see the EDC stage, like I think 1 or 2 years ago, I'm not quite sure when the first edition was from the Q-Dance stage, then it was like a few hundred people, and I think this year it was even bigger. It was
Hmm.
even bigger. So you see, all kinds of electronic dance music is like growing nowadays. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Have you noticed a difference in like? So one thing I've noticed, like in New York, which is where we're at, particularly, you kind of see it used to be kind of like everyone was in clubs and it was more like a club kind of atmosphere, whereas now it seems more of like a show and more of that festival kind of atmosphere in general. I don't know if that's specific to America or if that's also happened in
You,
Europe.
you mean like a show, like a mini festival in a club? Is that what you're talking about with like the
Yeah,
microphone and yeah? This is everywhere. This is worldwide. I mean, as far as I know, like in the European clubs, it's the same. Like things are changing. Like it used to be like DJs were like playing in clubs and just throwing their hands up, and nowadays it's like DJs like they take the mic and they're like, "Yo, how's everybody doing tonight?" Blah blah blah, and yeah,
right,
and C2 guns, everybody has a C2 gun now, and they're blasting C2 and confetti and throwing stuff in the crowd like little wristbands and glasses with your DJ name on it, and it's like it just became one big show. It's like entertainment.
right.
It's actually like, yeah, it's like big entertainment. Jumping off the balcony or something without breaking your neck or whatever. It's
Yeah,
like,
hopefully without breaking your neck. That's the best strategy.
yeah. Oh man, no, that's not that's where I draw the line. It's like I'm not gonna like do the Steve Aoki and jump out of a balcony or something. That's
That's
no,
funny.
I don't have a life insurance like that. It's like my life insurance isn't good enough for that kind of shit.
Well, you're coming to America. You might need to get some better life
Yeah,
insurance. You
yeah,
never know
no.
what you're gonna do here.
Oh man.
But that's funny. I talked with Gregor Salto actually about how we were talking. He was saying that he's never stage dived before in his life, and he was at Posh in New York with Chucky, and Chucky was like stage diving the whole thing out of the booth, and then he's like,
Wow.
Chucky just gets on the mic and goes, "Who wants to see Gregor Salto stage dive?" And everyone went crazy, and he was like, "Oh, I got to do it now," and just jumped out of the booth. So kind of like you, it wasn't crazy, but you get thrown into
Wow.
it. So get that life
Can I
insurance.
tell you? Can I tell you a little secret? Can I
Yeah.
tell you a little secret? I've done a lot of crazy stuff during my shows, but I actually never stage dived before. And the reason that I haven't is because I'm actually afraid that people are gonna like, yeah, yeah, we come over, you can stage dive, we're gonna get you, and then when I'm gonna jump, they're like gonna, like we're gonna move away, I'm gonna
Right.
like fall down in the crowd, and that's. But actually, I want to do that one time too. I'm going to.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now, see, now you're going to do it. We
I
went from
am.
this is kind of dangerous, and now we're going to do it.
You actually inspired me with this, so yeah, sure, let's do it. Let's give it a try, and we'll see what happens.
Cool. So let's talk about this. All right. So let's get into the nitty gritty and the little details of things. So when you go out to a club, tell me about the setup
I'm
you're
sorry.
using.
Can you repeat yourself one more time?
Yeah. Can you hear me? You good?
Yeah, yeah. I have a bad internet connection, like I told you before. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
pretty messed up.
You still with us? Yeah.
Yeah,
Can
yeah.
you hear me?
I hear you
Okay.
now. Yeah,
So
yeah,
let's just talk about what equipment you use to DJ with. Um, Pioneers, I'm assuming, right? CDJs.
yeah. I'm using the Pioneer CDEs. I don't really care if it's the thousands, or whatever, and the Pioneer mixer actually. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's the basic gear that everybody does, but yeah, or
Mhm.
everybody uses, but that's my basic setup. Yeah,
Are you using CDs, USBs, SD cards? Like, what do you prefer?
yeah. I'm using USB, and the funny thing is, I sometimes don't even use record box because I'm too lazy. Like I'm still doing it like old school, like skipping through really quick through a song and then cue it at the point where I want to start off. and then just mix it through, you know?
Mhm. Yeah, for sure.
It's like
I feel
really
it.
old school, but hey man, I don't care. It's like it works, and the song still sounds the same as far as I know. So who cares? It's
Yeah,
just a
I
way
mean,
of working, you know.
right. So are you? That actually goes into my next question. So would you say you're more of like a an on the fly kind of DJ, like you like to read the crowd? Tell me more about your philosophy behind the decks and how you like to interact.
Um, you're fading away a little bit again, but if I your question what your question is if I read my crowd when I'm DJing?
So like, there's obviously different styles of it. Some people they like to plan stuff ahead of time. Some people kind of just like to jump in there and see how it goes. Like, what is your style? Like, how do you operate behind
I
the
never
behind the deck?
I never plan stuff. I listen to music at home just to prepare a little bit what I want to play, um, and like what kind of backup tracks I have, you know. But when
Hmm.
I come to a club, I always improvise. I never have a set pre-recorded or pre-recorded in my head, you know, like I'm gonna play this one and then I'm gonna play that one. No, I always look at the crowd. I'm gonna like start with one, two, three energetic tracks, and then I'm gonna from that moment on I'm gonna like um, look at the crowd and try to feel where I want to go, you know? Like,
Hmm.
do they like it more deep or do they like it more groovy, progressive, or do they want to just like pound it, you know, like cannonball all the time, you know? Like,
Hmm.
it depends. When I come to France, they want cannonball all the time, all the time. They want to like boom, boom, boom all the time. Then when I go to another club, they want to go more deep, you know, and or commercial, like uh, I don't know, like Rita Ora remixes or Rihanna remixes, and I just adjust to my crowd, but I still keep it just in prime sound, you know?
Hmm. So you're able to adapt to the environment, but still stay true to what it is you want to do
Yeah.
and you want your audience to experience.
Yeah. And I think that's a really important thing because some DJs just they're like, okay, I don't care, I just play whatever I want to play, and if you don't like it, then that's your problem, you know. And I don't really I I I I don't really believe in that. I do that for like 50%. Like I have my own tracks like Cannonball, Thunderbolt, which I want to play every set. Two new tracks who are like unreleased. But next to that, I'm like trying to adjust to my crowd to let them have a good time, you know. And yeah, I think that's also important to be a good DJ, that you can entertain the crowd.
Hmm. Yeah, I've
Yeah, because nobody nobody wants to have a club where the DJ is playing and everybody is walking out because you're only playing like hard stuff while actually people want to have more groovy stuff, you know?
hmm for sure. I agree with you on that. I always think, when you see a set and it's kind of
Okay,
just
the internet connection is really bad again. I can't really understand you. Let's wait for 5 seconds and try again.
okay.
Oh man, that's a
Still,
bummer. Are you
still there?
there? Yeah, I can hear you
Yeah,
again.
I still see you.
Yeah, I'm still there.
Okay, cool.
Sometimes it's glitching and you have to wait for 5 seconds. It's really annoying.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Sorry about that.
it's all good. Yeah, the Hangouts are good. They have their ups and downs with the internet, but overall, usually works pretty well.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that again?
Can you hear me?
Yeah?
Yeah. No, I was saying that the Hangouts are usually go well, but sometimes the internet and across the world it can be kind of difficult. Can you hear me?
Shoot. Yeah, yeah, I can hear you, but can you repeat that one more time, please?
Yeah. I was saying the Hangouts are good, but the internet,
Yeah.
you know, depending on the distance and everything, sometimes it doesn't work. But overall, usually it works pretty well for the most part.
Yeah. No, it's not yours. It's my internet. My internet. I'm having problems lately, the last few days, and I'm not quite sure what it is, but yeah, it's fine again for the next 5 minutes, and then it's gonna like lag again for like 1 minute, and then keeps going on and on.
It's all
All
good.
right, so let's keep moving, man.
We'll keep moving. So let's talk about producing. So talk about your setup, what kind of plugins you like to use, what DAW you use, all that good stuff.
All right. Well, first of all, I produce on the MacBook Pro. I'm using Cubase 7.5, if I'm right. Why do I use Cubase on a Mac? It doesn't make sense at all. Well, actually, it doesn't really matter because some guy he told me once it doesn't really matter which DAW software you use. It's about the guy who's behind the knobs. So either though you use Fruity Loops or Cubase or Logic, it doesn't really matter. It's all about the producer behind the knobs. So yeah, Cubase, that's my thing. I'm using software plugins. If we're talking about synthesizers, I'm using Sita, Nexus. Who doesn't actually? um, yeah, Silent. What more? Uh, One more. I forgot the name. Well, it doesn't really matter. And I also use hardware like the Virus Thai E2. Not quite sure if you guys are familiar with this, but the Virus Thai E2. I used it for almost every Justin Prime song. It will get you that harsh sounding, metallic sounding melody sound, which you can't get out of a synthesizer VSTI. You really need a Firestyle for that. Like for example, the Cannonball melody. It's made with Firestyle in combination with Massive. That's the one I was trying to tell you about with Massive VSTI. It's a perfect thing if you combine a synthesizer VSTI with a hardware VSTI, because then you get like the Massive sounds really for melodies it sounds really soft, like not so harsh. But if you add another melody, like a second melody line on top with the Virus TI, it has really metallic harsh sounds which can blend together perfectly. So you have to just try it out yourself. If you own a Virus TI and a Massive, you have to try it out, blend them together, and you get the perfect combination, in my opinion. Next to that, I use a lot of Waves products for my mixing. I like all the Waves products. I think they're really good. But next to that, I have a UAT Apollo hardware module, and the UAT has one of the best VST simulations ever. I used all the equalizers, I use all the compressors. So if you don't own a UAT yet, and you can afford it because it's, I just bought a complete bundle. It's like 8,000 US dollars or something, or that's like 6,000 euros. If you can afford to buy it, then I would definitely recommend you guys to buy the UWAT series. It's what we say, the creme a la creme. Yeah, it's the best. So that's what I'm actually using. Next to that, I'm using outboard gear too, I have the Avalon compressor, equalizer compressor. It has a built-in equalizer, which has really, really nice high end. Um, and yeah, I use it actually. I don't use it for mastering. I use it on my mix for my melodies, and it gives you that little, yeah, I don't that little high end, on your melodies. And it has a built-in tube compressor, so if you put it on, your whole track goes to a tube compressor, and it sounds, yeah, actually it sounds really warm. So
Wow.
that's something I used to, and yeah, I think that's probably it. I'm thinking about buying another mixer, but I don't really need it actually. It's just more toys. And yeah, that's actually the most thing I use. It's like Avalon and the UWAT series, and those are the most important things right now that I use. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, as one of the questions we usually always get is there's always some producer out there trying to figure out what to get and who's using what. So I always like to ask the question, and definitely send me links when we're done with this. I'll post it up onto the
Okay,
page so
great.
people can take a look. One thing I wanted
Yeah,
to ask you though, for young producers who are just starting out, or even the guys who are just not quite at the level that they want to be,
yeah.
what would be some advice that you would give them?
Yeah, that's such a funny question because in every interview they ask me this, and I always have the same answer. It's actually like nowadays on the internet um, you can find so many good tutorials. Like go to Google and search some tutorials about mixing and mastering. It's really important to be able to mix your own tracks and not even master your own tracks. I mean, if you want to, you can though. But the most important thing is mixing your own tracks, because you really need to be able to do this because you want your tracks to sound great in the clubs and on the radio. So nowadays you can actually find a lot of great tutorials on the internet. So just use Google, or you can do what I do and subscribe yourself to a few web magazines and download them in like PDF format, like Future Magazine or SOS, and you pay like I don't know, $10 every month, and you can subscribe to it and download the tutorials, and it helps you a lot. It helps me a lot about new mixing techniques and new tips and tricks, and learning about new VSTIs plugins, which can help you to think about new creative stuff for your track, So yeah, this is a really important thing. Read a lot about tutorials. Like there's not one magic trick that everybody's looking for, which I can just like tell you instantly. That doesn't exist. Like it's a whole bunch of stuff which you just have to read, and it could take years, but it can also take months. It depends on you actually, and how much time you put into it, and your talent actually. Um, yeah, the only thing I can't tell you anything about, that's making music, like composing it, like melodies and stuff. That's a whole other side. That's something you can go to. We call it a conservatorium in the Netherlands. It's where
Hmm.
they teach you classical music and stuff. But still, you need to have like the basics. You have to be born with musical feeling, like
Hmm.
um, it's the same with DJing, like you have to have a feeling for the rhythm. Like I can teach you this, but for mixing and mastering, yeah, you have to really check out tutorials. It's so easy nowadays. Like, what are you waiting for? Go to google.com and check it out, paid or unpaid. There's always something there to find. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, we have their music. Yeah, music conservatories in the U.S. is how you'd say it.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly. It's the same
and
in the Netherlands.
Pretty much
They can
same
teach
thing.
you,
Yeah.
yeah, they can teach you like the playing piano or whatever, but you still have to, you know, be born with like the musical feeling, you know. Otherwise, it wouldn't make sense at all.
Exactly. So let's kind of move things along. I want to talk about
Yeah.
let's talk about more about you. Let's talk about what you kind of have coming up. So you mentioned your tour.
Yeah.
If you have any releases coming up and things that you want to announce and get out.
Yeah, I have two tracks ready. Striker, it's called Striker, and the other track is called Fairchild. I'm not gonna tell you which label it's gonna be on yet, uh, but I will announce it soon on my Facebook page. Then I have another track ready. It's called "Take Me With You." This is actually more like a summer house track. And next to that, I have a new remix ready for Rita Ora and Iggy Azalea. It's gonna be on Universal Records, and that's it for now. Another collab with D Wayne, actually. Yeah,
Oh, nice.
and yeah, with my homie D Wayne, so it's gonna be a cool one too. And that's it for now. So yeah,
Nice. So, and we keep talking. You're coming to America. I think everyone's really excited about this. You're excited. I'm excited.
I'm excited. Oh yeah.
Everyone's everyone is. This is just an exciting moment in both of our lives. We're very excited. Um, but we do have some questions here, and I want to. They're pretty much the same thing. But Stephen McDonald, he asks, any chance of playing in Dublin this year? And Grizel Lopez asks, are you coming to Mexico? So
Well, I'm um, about Dublin. I'm trying to because I'm doing another show in December or another tour in December. So how about this? I'll forward this to my management and let's see if we're able to do this. I'll try. I'll do my best.
there we go.
So there you go, man. And about Mexico, there are no dates yet, but I'll try my best to. And I really want to go to Mexico, so I'll try my best, and I'm sure I'm gonna be there in the near future. But I don't have any dates yet. But I'm gonna do my best. So.
There, you heard it, people. He will fly out to your country of choice
Oh, I
to
will.
play a
I
show.
will. Eventually, though, I
Eventually,
will.
eventually. Maybe give or take a couple years, but he'll make it there. He'll make it there. All right, cool, man. Um, so we hit on a lot of things today, and we had the bad internet connection, but anything else you wanna talk about? Anything you feel we didn't touch on?
Pooh. Yeah, well, we don't need to talk about the Cannonball story because everybody already knows that.
Right.
I've done a new song for Chesto on Chesto's new album. It's out now. It's called Footprints. It's a song I've produced together with Chesto. So
Hmm.
if you're able to check it out, it's called Chesto Footprints. And yeah, next to that, I'm hoping to see you guys in the USA in 1 week from now. And yeah, if you want to follow me on Facebook.com/JustinPrimeMusic and check out my music on SoundCloud.com/JustinPrimeMusic and enjoy and follow me if you want to. Yeah.
There you go. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in, Justin. Thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it. This is a fun time.
Hey man, thank you for having me. Thanks so much. And to all the people who are watching, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. And I hope to see you guys soon in the club.
I'm excited to see guys stage dive. It's gonna happen. You can he just told you
I will.
where to find him. You can find us at runthenightltd.com or Run the Night Ltd on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. But yeah,
You
peace out.
guys
Thanks
hear
again,
them.
Justin.
All right. Peace out, man. And thanks for having me. See you later. Ciao.
See ya.
Yo.